Once again, we are at the University of Toledo Medical Center, and with us tonight is Dr. Joan Duggan, an infectious disease specialist, and we're talking about things we might encounter this time of year in the great outdoors. Let's start with mosquitoes. What do we really need to know to avoid them?
Mosquitoes carry a number of diseases. Usually when we think about mosquito-borne illnesses, we often think of the classic ones like malaria. But in this country, there are a number of diseases you need to worry about this summer, including West Nile virus and a couple of different types of encephalitis, which means infection of the brain that mosquitoes can carry. So basically, since we don't have any treatment for any of these viral illnesses, the best thing to do is avoid getting bitten by mosquitoes. Now, mosquitoes feed at various times during the day and the night. There are certain peaks, certain times when it waxes and wanes in activity, but you can get bitten at any time. So prevention is the best thing to do. You can do this in a number of ways. Number one, you can just stay indoors, which probably isn't an option for most people. Or you can cover up most areas of your body to stop exposure. That means wearing long-sleeve shirts, long-sleeve pants. Not always an option in the summer when it's warm. There are several types of insect repellents you can use. And the CDC website, www.cdc.gov, lists a number of these products. They fall into two groups, natural products and the more conventional chemical products. The main chemical product is one called DEET, and that's familiar to most people. But there are a couple of natural products out there that work relatively well, like oil of lemon eucalyptus. The problem is when you buy an insect repellent, you have to read the instructions on the label, because that will tell you how long it's effective for and how much you have to apply. And it really does make a difference. If you think you're going to get 4 hours out of that product that says it only works for 2, you're not going to, and you're at risk for getting bitten by mosquitoes and potentially mosquito-borne infections. So when you put the product on, you keep it on as long as it says, but at night you need to wash it off to avoid skin irritation or any other toxicity associated with long-term use of the product. But again, prevention is the main thing. If you're going to wear sunscreen, put the sunscreen on first, and then
Jeffrey and Logan, please go to room 16.
Put the sunscreen on first, and then put the insect repellent on after that.
Okay. Now, do any of these products help with ticks, or do you just simply have to try to avoid getting them on you?
There are a number of products that avoid ticks, or excuse me, that stop ticks from attaching, but most of them are associated with impregnation in clothing, like permethrin. So we don't put that one directly on skin. We put it on clothing that we then wear. The main way to avoid getting ticks is to avoid areas where the ticks are, such as grassy areas with exposed skin. So when you're going to go out hiking and things, you want to wear long pants that are tucked into boots or have socks over them, and long sleeve shirts. And when you come in every day that you've been in a grassy area, or after your pet's been in a grassy area to make sure he or she doesn't take ticks home to you, you need to inspect your skin. Now, if you find a tick on your skin, you need to remove it, because the longer the tick stays attached, the more likely it is to transmit infection. The way to take the tick off is pretty easy. You take a pair of tweezers and you grasp the body of the tick without crushing it, and you just gently and straightly pull the tick up. Don't worry if the mouth pieces get left in the skin. They'll work their way out, and that's actually not where infection is transmitted. It's the body of the tick that's important. So you gently pull them out with tweezers.
Okay. Don't crush it, and don't use a hot match on them.
Don't crush it, don't use petroleum jelly, don't use a hot match, just a pair of tweezers.
Okay.
Straight out.
Easy enough. Any other tips for avoiding bugs this summer?
No, just use insect repellent. Avoid areas where there's a lot of insect activity. Try to avoid getting any tick bites and remove ticks promptly. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Joan Duggan, infectious disease expert at UTMC. That's tonight's Talk Back.